Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again. It is officially week 1 of the NFL season. We have been patiently waiting. It is finally here. Football is finally back. College football just kicked off last weekend. Now we have NFL football, and that's what we're going to be concentrating on today. It's time for our NFL predictions for all of our week 1 games. We're going to break them all down. We're going to go game by game, look at the teams, the offenses, the defense, and try to predict the outcome. Who's going to win, lose, what the final scores might be. And we'll also be taking an in-depth look at our best bets, the money lines, spreads, over-unders. First things first, though, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, you agree with me, disagree with me, what are your thoughts on these games? What are your predictions for our week 1 matchups? Leave them in the comment section. I will respond to every single comment that you leave. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. There's 3 tiers. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. With football, we go over every single football game every week, the college games, the NFL games. We do predictions, we do best bets on every single one of them. So if you're a sports fan, if you're a football fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We have 16 games in total to look at today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get started. The season is going to open this coming Thursday, September 4th, 8:20 p.m., officially week 1 of the season. We're going to have the Dallas Cowboys, NBC, visiting the defending Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. We get one of the best rivalries in football right out the gate. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles. The Eagles coming fresh off that Super Bowl. How do they respond? It's been a long offseason. Obviously, they have one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. They have a 68.7% chance to win this one. Dallas, a 31.1% chance. Fans are not really giving Dallas a shot to win this. Dallas fans will not be happy to hear that the Eagles are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is 47.5. Dallas was one of those teams last year. Everything that could have potentially went wrong, went wrong. McCarthy's gone. Dak Prescott got hurt. The defense went from a top 5 defense to a bottom 5 defense. The offense was atrocious. They couldn't run the ball. The Cowboys' bread and butter used to be running the ball. Great offensive line play. Great defensive front. That all went to crap last year. This is a new team, though. Dak Prescott's back. He's fully healthy. What he can do with his legs, extending plays, but still keeping his eye looking down the field, that's going to help out the offense. Obviously, the running game, you have Williams, Blues coming in there, young guy, smash and dash speed, power mix. At the tight end position, Ferguson, the wide receiver room. Not just CeeDee Lamb, who cemented himself as a number 1 wide receiver. You also brought over George Pickens. That's definitely going to help out the offense. The defense overall should be better because the offense is finally going to get some first downs. Looking at the Eagles, this is one of, if not the most talented top-to-bottom roster in all of the NFL. And obviously, they are the defending champs right now. Jalen Hurts, what he can do with his legs, what he can do with his arms. Probably the most balanced offense in the NFL. Saquon Barkley coming off a 2,000-yard rushing season, adding in Shipley. The tight end position, Goddard. What about these wide receivers? Devontae Smith, Dotson, A.J. Brown, Mechie. There are so many weapons on this team. They can beat you so many ways. The Cowboys last season, 20.6 points a game, giving up 27.5. They have to improve on that defensive front. And the Eagles, not just a great offense, also a top 3 overall defense. They were averaging 27.2, throwing for 187.9, running for 179.9. So balanced, only giving up 17.8 points a game, only 104.2 on the ground. They're going to make it difficult for the Cowboys to run the ball, put Dak Prescott into 3rd and long situations, but ultimately, I got to go with the champs. Give me the Eagles winning this one, 31-20. And then we're moving on to a Friday night game. Yeah, we have Friday night football on NFL week. When you have football practically every night, you gotta love it because college football Saturday and NFL picks right back up on Sunday. September 5th, 8 p.m. This is a YouTube game. One of the new things, 8 p.m. The Kansas City Chiefs, the runner-up to the Super Bowl, the number 2 team from last season on the road versus the LA Chargers. Actually, they're both on the road. This game is going to be in Brazil, a road game for both teams. Week 1, we know week 1s are crazy things happening week 1 of the NFL season. Usually favors the defenses. The offenses are kind of rusty to get out the gate, and they're in Brazil, so it's jet lag. This is going to be an interesting game. Whatever you're thinking this game, the complete opposite could potentially happen. That's what makes it so fun. Right now, you have the Kansas City Chiefs coming in here, 3.5-point favorites, a 44.5 over-under. Chiefs, 56.2% chance to win. The Chargers, a 43.4. This is a good, very good coaching matchup. This is Andy Reid, one of the best, versus Harbaugh, one of the best. 2 disciplined teams. We know what Kansas City did last season. Their offense took a couple steps back. They weren't quite the high-flying offense that they've been the last couple seasons, but the defense was a top 5 overall defense, suffocating defensive line, defensive front 7, getting a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, living in the backfield, tackles, sacks, tackles for a loss, creating havoc, creating turnovers, giving their offense the short field. That meant that there wasn't too much pressure on Patrick Mahomes to win games. He didn't have to throw for 4,500 yards this season. They were still able to basically practically run the table, get all the way to the Super Bowl, where they got curb stomped, but it doesn't matter. They got to the Super Bowl. Everyone else was sitting at the house. The only team that was better than them technically on paper was the Philadelphia Eagles, and that was a really good team, but everyone's a year older now. Travis Kelce, 1 year older. Reed, 1 year older. Potentially both those guys flirting with retirement, but when you have Patrick Mahomes, you know anything is possible. Looking at the Chargers, Harbaugh, welcome back to the NFL. Justin Herbert started out the season really slow, but about week 6 to 8, he really turned on the gas, started pushing the ball down the field. You know what Harbaugh wants to do. Run, play action, be disciplined, be aggressive on the defense. Last season, Chiefs 22.6 points a game, giving up 19.2, only 101.8 on the ground. Chargers averaging 23.6 points a game, giving up 17.7. That's a top 2 defense in the NFL. This is a defensive focus game, so that kind of evens out on the road. Like I said, it always does favor the defense. With the Chiefs, some of their guys are hurt, some of the guys potentially suspended, but you have Pacheco, you have Hunt, you have Kelce, you have Mahomes, the wide receivers, Smith-Schuster, Brown, Worthy. We just need all those guys to be healthy and on the field at some point this season. The potential's there. And looking at the Chargers, the running back room, you added in Hampton. He's the young guy. You still have Harris, Herbert, Disley, McConkey, Keenan Allen, Trey Harris. There's some veterans. There's some young guys. You can call me crazy. It's perfectly fine. Let me go with the Chargers walking away with the upset on the road. Give me them winning 24-20. In this next game, I honestly have kind of been a little bit of a shootout. Moving on to our Sunday matchups at 1 p.m. on Fox, September 7th. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. This game is in Atlanta. Don't forget, Falcons, they were playing the Buccaneers really good last season. Falcons had a disappointing year overall. Bucs made the playoffs, had a great run. Baker Mayfield, welcome back to the spotlight. Baker Mayfield, he was running, gunning last season. This team was scoring some points. The defense was playing well. Right now, the Buccaneers, 54.4% chance to win. The Falcons, a 45.3%. Do not underestimate Atlanta's offense, though. They have a buttload of weapons. They just have not been used efficiently the last couple years. Tampa Bay, 2.5 run favorites. The over-under is 47.5. Last year, Tampa Bay, a top 5 overall offense in the NFL. They were averaging 29.5, throwing for 250, running for 149, only giving up 22.5, only giving up 97.8 on the ground. They gave up a buttload of passing yards, but the ground game, they were able to shut that down. Falcons averaged 22.9, throwing for 239, running for 130.5, giving up 24.9. They were giving up yards through the air. On the ground, they have to work on that defense. One thing that will help them on defense is having an efficient offense that can suck up some game clock. Looking at these overall rosters, when you're looking at Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, he is back in the spotlight, playing great. He's a foundational quarterback right now. You still have Bucky Irving. You have Rashad White. You have Oten. At the wide receivers, one of the more underappreciated wide receiver rooms, you have Emeka Egbuka, rookie, out of Ohio State. A lot of praise. You have Chris Godwin. Once he comes back, if he's fully healthy, he's in the slot. He's untouchable. Then you have Mike Evans, death, taxes, Mike Evans. Those are things that you can count on. Looking at the Falcons, a lot of weapons here. Michael Penix Jr. really has to step up. Sophomore season has to take some steps forward. You still have Algiers. You still have Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the nation. Tight end, Kyle Pitts. He's that tight end wide receiver hybrid. And then you have McLeod, London, Mooney. There's weapons at the wide receivers. Push the ball down the field. Get it in their hands. Let that running game open up the play action, hit the deep targets. This game I have being a shootout, even though the Falcons were beating the Bucs last year. Give me Tampa Bay winning this one 30-27. And also on Sunday at 1 p.m., the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. No one started out last season worse than the Cincinnati Bengals. They just can't get off to that awful start. They have to get aggressive right out the gate, get a hot start. You have a difficult schedule, but the playoffs are in front of you. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, Joe Burrow, leading the NFL in passing last season. You just don't need every single game to be a complete shootout. 35-30 matchup, that's no way to win. Right now, the Bengals, 64.7% chance to win this one. The Browns, a 35.1. Cleveland, the Browns, they are shuffling quarterbacks. They have a very good defense on paper, but when your offense struggles to move the ball, it leaves the defense on the field the entire game. They get wore out second half, and they start to get scorched. That will only happen naturally when you're on the field for 35, 40 minutes per game. You can only do so much. Looking at these teams here, you have the Bengals coming in 5.5-point favorites. 47.5 over-under. Bengals last season, they were scoring some points, 27.8 points a game, throwing for 272.9. That's a college number. Running for 92.6. They couldn't run the ball because they were always behind. They were always having to throw. They were giving up 25.5 points a game. It was an awful defense. You just have to be a little better. Cleveland, an atrocious 15.2 points per game, giving up 25.2. Like I said, on paper, the defense is good, but they need some help from the offense. Looking at the Bengals team overall on offense, Chase Brown, P. Ryan, Joe Burrow, Gesicki, a very deep wide receiver core. You have Higgins. You have Chase. Is there a better 1-2 combo? It is at least top 2, top 3 easily. And then looking at the Browns, it gets really tough when you look at the offense. They're going with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has officially been playing in the NFL for 35 seasons. I know, guys, it's just sarcasm. Someone's going to call me out on it. It is just sarcasm. You have Ford, Sampson, David Njoku still there. You have Judy, Tillman. You got to move the ball. That's one thing that Flacco will do. He will push the ball down the field. He's a straight-up gunslinger. He still has his arm. He's going to push the ball. That's going to help the defense out. Just try to keep the turnovers down. Looking at this game, I have the Bengals getting out to the hot start. What happened last year, not happening this year. They win this one. They win this one handily, 33-14. And how about this game next September 7th, 1 p.m. on CBS, the Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. This game is in Indianapolis. It's going to be a home game for the Colts. The Colts shuffling quarterbacks. I like to say it, I was not a fan of the Richardson draft pick. I thought he was very inaccurate. He was never able to improve on that. He had a speed, he had the arm, but he just could not hit wide open targets. Right now, Miami 48.9% chance to win. The Colts a 50.7%. That's practically a split right down the middle, 50-50 pick on with the fans. Although, I'm not going to lie, I kind of lean towards the Dolphins because to me, you at least know more of what you're getting with them. As long as Tua doesn't get completely knocked out, they have a real shot to win this one. Right now, the Colts 1.5 run favorites, 47.5 over under. Miami last. McDaniels, a lot of pressure on him. You have to improve. You got to get more production from that offense. They need to be a lot more disciplined. The offensive line has to hold up. The secondary has to play better. Last year, they're averaging 20.3 points a game, but a lot of that was without Tua because, like I said, he was getting knocked out left and right. They threw for 219.8, ran for 105.6, giving up 21.4. The Colts, they averaged 22.2. Throwing for 197, they were giving up 25.1. There's defensive issues with both of these teams. Looking at the Dolphins' offense, obviously, you have Tua. He's there. If he's able to stay healthy, he has the pieces around him. He needs some help from the offensive line. And also, he needs to not scramble and put his head down and try to truck people over. He has Achin. He has Jalen Wright. He has Ollie Gordon, the rookie. Tight end, Waller. Waller's back. Welcome back to the NFL. Wide receivers, Washington, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, he's getting older, but he still has it. He still has a step on some people. Jalen Waddle, very good wide receiver room. They just need a better 3 and 4. Looking at the Colts here, you have Daniel Jones taking over the starting quarterback position. I'm sorry, guys, that does not give me much faith in the Colts. You have Tyler Warren, the young guy, the rookie first-round pick. He's a legit tight end, but he's going to be a rookie here. Wide receivers, Josh Downs, Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr. still around. I don't have faith in the Colts. It's week 1. Anything can happen, but I honestly thought the Finns would have been the favorites by now. Give me Miami winning this one 24-20. And also Sunday at 1 p.m., we have the Las Vegas Raiders welcome in a new coaching staff. Pete Carroll is in, Geno Smith versus the New England Patriots. This game is going to be in Foxborough. It's a home game for the Patriots. Patriots getting a buttload of off-season hype here. Some people are picking them to finish second in the division. They have a 51.8% chance to win. The Raiders a 47.8%. If the Raiders can move the ball, there was some offensive pieces there last year. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites, a 43.5 over-under. Last year, both these teams having a lot of difficulty consistently moving the ball. Raiders averaged 18.2, giving up 25.5. New England, they averaged 17, giving up 24.5. No matter which team you look at, the numbers were atrocious. Looking at the Raiders, their newfound team, Geno Smith coming in there. He's a veteran. Brock Bowers, to me, he's probably the best tight end in the nation right now. This guy is legit. The wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, Tucker, Thornton Jr., there's some weapons there. The running back room, Ashton Gentry, a lot of praise. We know what he did at Boise State last season, the number 1 running back off the board. Looking at the Patriots, people are praising Drake May. I want to see some more of it first. I'm not fully a believer, but I'm not knocking. I just want to see some more. You still have Stevenson. You have Hunter Henry. You have Douglas. Diggs is coming over. Obviously, Diggs is probably not going to be playing to start the season. It is what it is. And really, what does he have left in the tank? We will soon find out. But still, I'm going to go with the Patriots winning at home. Give me them winning this one. It's very close, though, 21-20. And on CBS at 1 p.m., the Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, what is going on with the Saints? What's going to happen to them this season? Right now, the Cardinals, 6.5-point favorites, 42.5 over under. Arizona, 59% chance to win. New Orleans, a 40.6% chance. Last year, when Kyler Murray came back from his injury, the offense was moving the ball. They were averaging 23.5, throwing for 214, running for 144, giving up 22.3. The Saints struggling to move the ball, 19.9 points a game, giving up 23.4. On paper, they didn't have a bad team last year, but where was the leadership? They couldn't get everything together on the same page. Looking at Arizona, you have Kyler Murray. You still have James Conner, Trey Benson, McBride, Jones, Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr. He is the X factor. If he can live up to the hype from last season, he can be a real go-to guy. Push the ball to him on third downs. Looking at the Saints, on paper, it's not bad, but Spencer Rattler really needs to show up at this point. You still have Alvin Kamara, but the guy's like 58 years old right now. He still does a lot of things. Runs the ball, catches a lot of passes out the backfield, but they need the rest of that room to step up. Tight ends, Johnson, Shaheed, Cooks, Olave. Olave and Cooks, those are two really good veterans, but Spencer Rattler, really, what's he going to show us this season? He will have some games when he shows up, and then he'll have some games when he doesn't. Give me the Cardinals winning game one. They win this one 27-17. And this next game is about as personal as it gets at 1 p.m. The Pittsburgh Steelers visiting the New York Jets. These teams loathe one another, and it has nothing to do with the team. It has completely to do with the quarterbacks. You have Mike Tomlin's team. Who did he bring over? He brought over Aaron Rodgers from the New York Jets. Had an awful year last year with the Reds. Completely decimated that team. He leaves. He goes to the Steelers. Fields from the Steelers goes to the Jets. Rodgers would love to beat the Jets. Fields and the Jets would love to beat Rodgers and the Steelers. It goes round and round. Both these teams want to beat the crap out of one another. It's a personal game. For us unbiased fans, it just makes it that much more fun to watch. Right now, Pittsburgh, 58.6% chance to win. New York, a 41% chance. Steelers, 2.5-point favorites, 38.5 over under. Steelers last year, 22.4 points a game, giving up 20.4. You know what Tomlin does? Disciplined defense, run the ball. If you add in Rodgers, if he still has something there with the play action, this team could be an under-the-radar dark horse one. Jets, 19.9 points a game with Rodgers, giving up 23.8. Looking at the Steelers, they have Aaron Rodgers. They have Warren, Johnson. For the wide receivers, DK Metcalf comes over. Roman Wilson, there's some weapons there. Rodgers, like I said, if he still has something left with a much more disciplined team, with a foundational coach, they can make a potential run at the playoffs. The Jets are honestly going nowhere. Breece Hall, Justin Fields. Justin Fields still has something, but we got to see it. You have Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson, who's a true wide receiver number one, but it would be very surprising if this team, to me, gets anywhere near around 500. I kind of flip-flopped this game. I originally had the Jets winning, but ultimately, I'm going to go with the vets. Give me Rodgers, Tomlin. Steelers win this one 24-17. At 1 p.m. on Fox, the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. How about the Washington Commanders last year? Jalen Daniels, one of the best rookie seasons we've seen in an extremely long time. Throwing the ball, running the ball. They made it very deep in the playoffs. They almost made a full run at the Super Bowl. Washington, 68.5% chance to win. New York, a 31.3% chance. Commanders are 6.5-point favorites, a 45.5 over-under. The Giants. What is going on with the Giants? Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, will either of them resurrect their careers here this year? I do not think it's honestly going to happen. Some people say that Russell Wilson might go back to like 2019 version of Russell Wilson. Now, that would be great for you Giants fans, but I just honestly don't think that that's going to happen. Tight end, you have Johnson. You have Robinson, Slayton, Malik Neighbors. He's a guy who could be a legit wide receiver number one. He just needs someone to give him the ball in space. Feed your playmakers the ball. Looking at the Commanders, this offense is loaded. You add in Austin Eckler, Kroski, Jaden Daniels, who's a quarterback, running back, hybrid. He's a little bit of everything. There's nothing that the guy can't do. You have Zach Ertz. You have Deebo Samuel. Add in him, Noah Brown, Scary Terry. So many weapons. Washington last year, 28.5 points a game, throwing for 216, running for 154, giving up 23. I don't trust the Giants offense. There might be some turnovers here. The game could potentially turn into a shootout, but I don't have that happening. I have Washington winning this one handily, 28-15. At 1 p.m., you're going to have the Panthers visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are going to be at home, a 60.8% chance to win. The Panthers, a 38.8. Panthers actually, the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 weeks playing very competitive football down the stretch. Much improved second half from where they were first half, from where they were back in 2023. Right now, the Jags, though, 3.5-point favorites, 46.5 over-under. Carolina last year, 20.1 points a game, throwing for 188, running for 111, giving up 31.4. That was a god-awful defense last season, but still, they were able to pull some competitive wins out of their hat. The Jags, 18.8 points a game, giving up 25.6. An awful secondary, giving up 257 passing yards per game. That's one of the worst that you're ever going to see. Looking at the Panthers offense, Bryce Young still has a lot of questions left over about him, but the way he performed second half was at least maybe some sparkle for the Panthers fans because it shows you what he could be. He just needs to be consistent at it. Chuba Hubbard got hurt at the end of the season, but when he was playing, everyone in the world knew he was running the ball. He would run it, and yet nobody could stop him. The wide receivers, you have McMillan coming over from Arizona, first-round pick. He was one of the best wide receivers in the college ranks. If he can be a true number one, this is a deep team. Leggett, Hunter Renfrow, Jimmy Horn Jr. coming over from Colorado. A lot of weapons there, a lot of young, unproven weapons. If they live up to their potential, very good young wide receiver core. Looking at the Jags here, obviously Cohen taking over as the head coach, offensive-minded guy. It has to work wonders with Trevor Lawrence. If it doesn't, Trevor Lawrence is going to be on an extremely hot seat. You have Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, the tight end Strange, wide receivers. Travis Hunter, was he worth giving up all of those pieces for Travis Hunter? The jury's still out on that. We will have to wait to see. You have Brown, Brian Thomas Jr., just like Malik Neighbors, a true wide receiver number one. Feed the man the ball. But I'm going to go with the Panthers winning. Again, call it crazy. It's week one. Crazier stuff happens. Panthers win this one 24-21. And at 4:05 p.m., the Tennessee Titans with the number one overall pick, Cameron Ward. Will the offensive line be able to keep this man from getting assaulted on the field? They'll be visiting the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, those first 2 to 3 games, Bo Nix, it was looking really rough. Sean Payton looked like he made a bad call, and then everything flipped. They got hot from then. One of the best defenses, one of the best overall offenses. Prop to Sean Payton. He showed his coaching chops, and that guy can coach. Denver, 69.7% chance to win. Tennessee, a 30.0% chance to win. Broncos are 7.5-point favorites, a 42.5 over-under. Tennessee last year, 18.3 points a game, giving up 27.1. They had so many turnovers on their own side of the field. But hey, that's what gets you the number one pick. You have Cam Ward here. Cam Ward, he needs that line to hold up. Tony Pollard, he kind of had pretty good chemistry with Calvin Ridley, but he might not be starting the season. Tyler Lockett, Jefferson there. He needs Calvin Ridley on the field to be his primary go-to target here, and the defense definitely has to step up their game. Looking at the Broncos, Bo Nix, he was running it, gunning it, throwing it down the field. This team was living off the play action and what he can do, improvising with his legs, extending plays. When this guy took off running, though, he was always keeping his eyes looking down the field. That's the key. They averaged 25 points a game, throwing for 212, running for 112, only giving up 18.3 points a game. A very well-rounded squad. Deep room, R.G. Harvey, rookie running back, J.K. Dobbins, Evan Ingham, Franklin, Mims Jr., Cortland Sutton. There's so many weapons, and you have Sean Payton. He's been there before. He's done it. What he did with Bo Nix had this guy looking like the second coming of Drew Brees. It would be an awesome thing to watch if that somehow happens. I got to go with Denver. They have the far better offense. They have the elite superior defense versus a rookie in his first game with a bad line. Give me Denver winning this one 28-17. Also at 4:05 p.m., you have Kyle Shanahan's San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, they've had a coaching change. They have a quarterback change. They have some new blood. Will that help this team? They're actually probably going to have a pretty decent defense this season. We need to see the offense get back to the basics, get back to lining up, running the ball. Seattle, 45.5% chance to win. The 49ers, a 54.2% chance to win. San Francisco, 2.5-point favorites, 42.5 over-under. I will say this about the 2024 San Francisco 49ers. What bad luck this team had. To me, in my personal opinion, I do think they had the overall best roster in the NFL last season if they were fully healthy. That's the point. If they were fully healthy, at no point last year were they remotely healthy. They had everyone gone at one point. It was a complete travesty. This team was decimated. The offense, the defense, they have some guys back. They traded away a lot of their playmakers. They still have injuries going on, but trust me, nothing like what it was last year, but there's still a lot of injuries currently right now. San Francisco, though, Kyle Shanahan, a lot of pressure on them to have a good year. They averaged 22.9 last year, giving out 25.6. Their defense was much better than that. They were just Warthren. Seattle, they averaged 22.1, giving up 21.6. For the 49ers, they still have Brock Purdy. They have Christian McCaffrey. If he can get back to being fully healthy, he's a legit top 3 running back. They have George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the country. They have Jennings, Pearsall, Gage Jr., Watkins. There's still weapons there. Not as many as they previously had, but they still got some guys to push the ball to. Looking at the Seahawks, you have Sam Darnold coming over from the Vikings. Can big game time Sam Darnold win some big games with the Seahawks? You have Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, Barner, Cooper Kupp coming over, Torrey Horton, Jackson Smith, Nabigba. A lot of weapons there. A lot of young weapons, but we need to see Sam Darnold. He got the big contract finally. He's going to have to live up to it. I have the 49ers winning it, though, but I will call it like this. I honestly think this is a 50-50 game. I don't personally want to go anywhere near this one, but if you force me to pick, give me San Fran winning it 28-21. And how about this game? One of the best games of the entire weekend. I think this is probably the second best game next to the Baltimore-Buffalo game, but it's a close one. 4:25 p.m., the Detroit Lions visiting the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay, Lambeau Field, one of the most difficult places to play for a road team, but the Lions are coming in there with the highest flying offense in the NFL last year. They have a 51.1% chance to win. Green Bay, a 48.5%. Another practical split down the middle, 50-50. This is a tough game to call. I love the Lions offense. I love the Packers offense. Who's going to win out? We know Week 1's crazy things happen, usually favor the defenses. Right now, Green Bay, 2.5-point favorites, 47.5 over-under. The Lions, the number 1 offense in the NFL last year, 33.2 points a game. Number 1, and it wasn't even close. They could score some points. 263.2 passing yards a game, running for 146.4, giving up 20.1 points a game. Only giving up 98.4 yards on the ground. The defense looks really good. When you look at the numbers, they don't tell the full story. First half, the defense was lights out. Second half, they were getting lit up and down the field because they had so many injuries on the defensive side, and they got scorched second half, and every game turned into a shootout. They will be healthy this season, but it's logical to expect a bit of a step back because this team was extremely good last year, Super Bowl caliber good. Green Bay, they have the offense, they have the defense to compete with anyone. They're averaging 27.1 points a game, throwing for 223.9, running for 146.8, giving up 19.9 points a game, only 99.4 on the ground. Green Bay, another one of those teams, you got to take them serious, and they're at home to open up the season. Looking at the Lions, this team's stacked. Jared Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, one of the best 1-2 running back combos in the nation, if not the best one. You have Laporta, Wright, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a true, legit wide receiver, top 3, top 5 in the entire league. You have Jameson Williams, a lot of weapons there. Looking at the Packers, what I want from Green Bay, I need a legit, true wide receiver number 1. Reed is good, but I want someone else to be a legit wide receiver number 1. You have Josh Jacobs coming off of a 1,300 year. Jordan Love, he can extend plays with his legs. He's not a running quarterback, but he can roll, move the pocket. He definitely has the arm strength to push it down the field. Kraft, Reed, Golden. Maybe Golden's that guy, that vertical threat down the field. This game's going to be a shootout. It's one of those games you can make a very strong, valid case for either one of these teams to walk away with the win. Give me the Lions winning an extremely close one here. It is so tough to call this one. They win at 28-27. As an unbiased fan, this is going to be some fun football to watch. And who's ready for some more firewalks this game at 4:25 p.m.? The Houston Texans, CBS, versus the Los Angeles Rams. The big news here for this game, Stafford allegedly will be playing. We know he's a gunslinger. If he's on the field, they're going to be throwing some bombs. LA, 55.6% chance to win. The Texans, a 44.1%. The big question here, can CJ Stroud and the Texans get back to the 2023 product they put on the field? They took a step back last year, still had a good overall season, but they weren't as competitive as they were the previous season. But we're hearing a lot of rumblings here. Some people are saying that the Texans could have the number 1 defense in the NFL this season. That's something to keep your eye on. Right now, the Rams, 2.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. Houston last year, they averaged 21.9, gave up 21.9. The Rams averaged 21.6, gave up 22.7. The Rams had a lot of injuries. Kupp, Nakua, once they got those back, Stafford, he was gunslinging it up and down the field. They have so many weapons. Kyron Williams, Stafford, Higbee, Tutu Atwell, Nakua, Devontae Adams coming in. There are so many weapons on this team with the gunslinging quarterback. He's going to throw some picks, but he's going to throw some amazing touchdowns. It is a thing of beauty sometimes. It is fun to watch. Looking at the Texans, CJ Stroud, 2024 version, all right. 2023 version, that's the version that I want to see this season. Nick Chubb, Dameon Pierce, Schultz, Kirk, Higgins, Nico Collins. Nico Collins, when he went out, was leading the NFL in receiving yards. If he can stay healthy and they still have that same connection, he could be a number one wide receiver in the entire league right now. I think this game is going to be very close down to the very end. But if you give me fourth quarter, one possession, the ball's in Stafford's hands, I have him doing enough to win the game. The Rams win this one 24-20. And our second to last game is the game that I mentioned is the true game of the week 1 week. This is the best matchup. Second best, Lions-Packers. It's a very close number 2, but number 1 is a game of the last 2 MVP award winners. 8:20 p.m., the Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. This is where it's at. This team is fighting it out to me to who could potentially appear in the Super Bowl. Whoever wins this game potentially in the playoffs. Right now, Buffalo, 51.4% chance to win. Baltimore, a 48.2. Again, practically a 50-50. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites, a 50.5 over-under. Vegas knows there's going to be some good quarterback play. There's going to be a buttload of points scored, which makes it fun for us fans to watch. Last season, both of these teams here, top 3 overall offenses in the NFL, so you know there's going to be some fireworks. The Ravens might have had the most rounded offense in all of football, them or the Eagles. They're averaging 30.5 points a game, number 3 offense, throwing for 237.4, running for 187.6 yards per game on the ground. They could throw on anyone. They could run on anyone. They have a two-headed monster. And they have Lamar Jackson with his legs. He could run for 1,000 yards this season. They had Derrick Henry running for 2,000 yards. Derrick Henry, a lot of miles, starting to get older, but he's showing zero signs of slowing down, and they gave up 21.2 points a game. Secondary was kind of iffy. It is what it is, but they did have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL, giving up 80.1 yards on the ground. The Bills want to run the ball. The Ravens are going to look to shut your run down, force you to have to beat them through the air. The Bills can do that. They averaged 30.9 points a game last year, the number 2 offense, throwing for 227.9, running for 131.2, giving up 21.6. Both these teams have good defenses. Both these teams get after it at the line of scrimmage. But when you have the run game of the Ravens, they're going to test anyone's defensive front seven. Looking at the Ravens, this roster is loaded. Lamar Jackson, obviously, he's won an MVP. This guy is legit. He had his most efficient season last year. He could theoretically throw for 4,000 to 4,500 yards. He can run for 1,000 yards every season. You have Derrick Henry, the tight end. Andrews, likely 2 really good tight ends. The wide receivers, you're loaded at wide receiver. Zay Flowers, Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins coming over. A lot of weapons there. The rich got richer here, and they have a good defense. For the Bills, they don't have the weapons that the Ravens have, but they do have Josh Allen, the reigning NFL MVP. You have James Cook. This guy was running for touchdowns left and right last year. You have Kincaid, Knox, deep tight end room, Shakir, Coleman, Palmer. What I will say, they don't have the wide receiver depth that the Ravens have. That does worry me, but you have Josh Allen. He's going to make plays. He's going to do Josh Allen things. But I'm going to go with the Ravens doing just enough. You got to love Lamar Jackson and the team as a whole around him. Baltimore wins a shootout, 30-27. And we've made it to our final game, our Monday night matchup. It's a good one between 2 big brands. We have the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears, 8:15 p.m., September 8th. Monday Night Football, our very first Monday Night Football of the 2025 season. The Vikings right now, 47.5% chance to win. The Chicago Bears, a 52.1. So many 50-50 games. The Bears are the underdogs at home. Vikings, 1.5-point favorites, 43.5 over-under. The big thing for the Vikings is, obviously, Sam Darnold is gone. You are bringing in J.J. McCarthy, the guy who was supposed to be your starter last year. He got hurt, never got to start. He's actually technically a rookie. He was a rookie last year, never took an NFL snap. This is technically his rookie season. How does he perform? They're getting a buttload of praise, very high expectations for him. The only thing that I will say is, I want to see it first to believe it. Preseason's great. I personally do not trust the product that I ever see during preseason football because not everyone's playing with everything they have, and you're not always playing the first strings on all these teams. Obviously, Minnesota last year, great team, 25.4 points a game, throwing for 238, running for 109, giving up 19.5 points a game, only 93 on the ground. Great, solid defense. The Bears, they definitely struggled last year. People getting fired, players not playing with their heart. They average 18.2 a game, throwing for 181, running for 102, giving up 21.8. But obviously, they had the number one pick coming in here. They had Caleb Williams. Things did not work out the first season, but we hope to see a better product year two. Loveland at the tight end position. Quarterbacks love a trusty tight end that they can dump the ball off. Third and long situations, always keep your eye on the tight end position. The running back room, Swift, Johnson. The wide receivers, DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. Odunze potentially poised for a breakout year here. Looking obviously at the Vikings room, you have J.J. McCarthy taking over. Hawkinson, great tight end. The wide receiver rooms, Naylor, Thielen's back. Justin Jefferson, who is universally considered the number one wide receiver in the NFL. And if Aaron Jones Sr. can have the season he had last year, this can be an under-the-radar, very competitive game. But like I said, I want to see it from J.J. McCarthy to believe it. Give me the Bears winning this one 20-17. If the Vikings win it, I would in no way be surprised. They are the more talented roster to me. I just want to see J.J. McCarthy in a regular season game first. So give me the Bears. Guys, that's our breakdown, our picks, our predictions, our bets on all of our NFL games coming up for week one of the 2025 NFL season. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, drop them below. Do you agree? Disagree? What are your thoughts on these games? Let us know in the comments. What are your predictions? I will respond to every single comment. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, make sure to check out the pinned comment down below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.